Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Betrayal at Krondor. I am outside of High Castle. Let's just go ahead and work our way towards where the bag of grain is, which I believe is down here. Let's see, which one is it going to be again? Okay. So, not this place, but, nope, it is that place. My bad. A pretty woman answered the door. After the appropriate introductions, she allowed them entry into her small but well-decorated home. They discovered her name was Sarah Halfgate and that her husband was a trader away on business. "We've come looking for a bag of grain. Perhaps you could help us," inquired James. The woman seemed hesitant. "Well, sirs, I have several bags of grain here, but my husband would be very angry if he found them missing upon his return. I could perhaps spare a single bag if you could help me find a present for the midsummer festival." "I'm not sure how we could help," said James. "He's been talking about wanting a pair of leather leggings. If you could find such a thing, I will give you a bag of grain. Do we have a deal?" "Sure. Why can't I just buy the grain?" Like, does she not know how much it is? If she said, "I don't know how much it is," and what if we say, "All right, look, well, we're pretty sure it's not 10 gold a sack. How about you just take that? I got plenty of money." James nodded his head. "Oh, I'm so glad we could strike a deal," said Sarah. "My husband will be thrilled with his gift." She went to the corner of the room and pulled a bag of grain off the stack. Gorath joined her. "Here, let me help you with that." She thanked him and followed him back to the others where the exchange was made. They quickly said goodbye, and she told them to be careful as they walked out the door and returned to the road. Can we also not leave her a message saying, when your husband gets back, go trade some to the Temple of Dala? Also, Gorath's weaponcraft is up to 83%. James's armorcraft is to 65%. His stealth is at 106. I have seen, like, when I was grinding up the barding skill, I actually did get that up to 102% because I don't think it really quite thinks about what it's been set to until you go into this screen. So I actually just was doing it, and then I went in here and it was at 102. Of course, a little later, next time I don't know if it was next time I went in, but at some point in the future I went in and it was down to 100. Also, James's speed is up to 5 now. We are going to be getting a character eventually whose speed is 2. I'm going to be disappointed by that. Anyway, let's see. Is there a way to cut through here? Yeah, there is. Let's go this way. Was that a shop? That was a shop. Do you have anything that I want? Yes, aventurine. Anything else? Not really. Was there anything that I could sell him? Wow, that is a big bag of grain. Bag of grain, condition 1%. James could see the reason bartering for raw goods was beginning to disappear as the Kingdom of the Isles began to mint their own currency. Carrying around a raw grain as a means to make purchases was far too cumbersome. Nope, you won't buy that. I didn't think so. Worth a shot, though. Alright, we'll make our way to the Temple of Dala. Trade in this bag of grain. I will need to do something before I go into the temple. Alright, we'll rest. Alright, here we are outside. Alright, before we go in, set everyone's defense to being marked. Let's go ahead and talk. James motioned for help. Seeing that they were burdened with the heavy bag of grain, a burly priest named Vabon hurried to their assistance, taking the weight upon his shoulders. The High Priestess will be most pleased to see you, the priest grinned. Do you remember the way to her private garden? Nodding, James turned through a small arch, holding up a woven curtain for Owen and Goreth to pass through. Together they entered Reese's contemplation glade. Glancing up from where she was trailing a hand through the gentle waves of the pool, she smiled warmly at them. You've brought the grain. How did you know? James asked, a little startled by the surety in the High Priestess's green eyes. There are certain advantages to living in the presence of a goddess, she laughed. I knew this morning when I awoke that I would be seeing you. I also knew that she will bestow upon one of you the boon of her blessing. Blessing? James asked, intrigued. Standing to assume a more priestess-like posture, she folded her hands in front of her stomach. To the one you choose she shall, for the rest of his life, watch over him to protect him from harm. This is Dala's will. James gaped. The goddess will make him invincible? Not as such, no, she said regretfully. But her favor will see to it that it is very difficult for him to be injured by those who seek to harm him. Who do you choose to receive this blessing? I thought I could choose all of us. Let me see. Hold on a second. Should have saved before I did this. What if I cancel? They were unable to choose. For a quarter of an hour, they discussed the issue at length, each indicating someone else is more deserving of the blessing. Amused by the debacle, Risa intervened. Very well, she said, interposing herself into the good-natured argument. As you seem to have all come to the conclusion that one man alone is not fit for Dala's blessings, I shall bestow her blessings on you all. Please go now, modest men. The gods love you truly. That's what I thought. Alright, good. That's what I was hoping for, at least. The party's defense ability has increased. So it's kind of like training. Defense is now up to 90 for James. 77 for Owen. So it goes up 25. I think it would be 37% if you marked it, if you chose one person. And I was very tempted to choose Owen, but to be perfectly honest, 25% or 30 total before before you've marked it. I'm getting more skill bonus points in total right here. And plus, I mean, it's like 15% for each person at this point. So that's a total of 45 points versus 37 points. Pretty good with that, actually. I'm pretty good with that. And Goreth is up to 88%. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right. So that is Dala's blessing. What else? What else? I think that's really it. Yeah, it looks like I've done most of the things that I can really do here. Alright. From here, I think it's just making our way back to, there was that waterfall oh so long ago, and I did leave the chess piece somewhere just because I didn't really need to carry it around. And I have not left anything in between here and other places. So, you know what? Let's teleport. We are going to teleport to the Temple of Kahuli. There we go. Alright, now, from here, I needed to do something here at the Temple of Kahuli. Oh, no, I remember now. I needed to go to the prefect's place, which is, like, over here somewhere. Yeah. Alright. Let's go ahead and bookmark. There were armed guards in front of the house. "We are on official business," called James. Placing a hand on his weapon, one of the guards shot back. "On whose authority?" "On authority of the Prince of Krondor," James said, matter-of-factly. "And we were sent by the priests of the Temple of Kahuli." Apparently satisfied with this answer, the guards moved aside and let them pass. There were strange markings on the door. James studied the symbols with a questioning eye, then knocked loudly. The man who came to the door introduced himself as prelate of the Temple of Kahuli. "I'm not well liked by the plain ones," he said. "They do not understand the supreme justice of my actions. Those who break the rule of law must suffer the divine consequences of their behavior." The prelate went on to tell them of his experiences while trying to become prelate, and of the codes of piety so strictly enforced by the local temple. Nodding politely, James asked, "What can you tell us of these codes?" Recognizing their interest, he countered the question with one of his own. "If you would care to make a donation to the temple, say 50 sovereigns, I think I could be persuaded to reveal them to you. Will you pay?" Let me see. Just wondering if there's something that I can do. I mean, if this is going to, like, give me some skill in something. I don't think so. Alright. I don't think we get a skill boost out of this, so... James handed the prelate 50 gold sovereigns. "The Temple of Kahuli thanks you," he said. "Now please follow me, and I shall teach you of our codes of piety." The prelate led them into a small room. He stood behind a makeshift altar and spoke, sometimes ranted, about the great god Kahuli, warrior god of vengeance, unraveler of mysteries into truth. They listened without much interest, until at last he began to speak of the pious codes. "Subjugation of the will," he began. "None shall be considered a true follower of Kahuli without first renouncing all ties to king and country." James glanced about the room nervously as the prelate continued. "Mortification of the flesh. None shall be allowed entry to the Temple of Kahuli until they have cleansed themselves of all appetites of the flesh, to purify themselves for the intervention of Kahuli's will. And finally, subordination of service. None shall do service to Kahuli without first proving their loyalty by passing the water curtain and praying to Kahuli for one full cycle of the seasons." He continued his sermon for nearly an hour, but revealed little of interest. At last he was finished, and they were allowed to leave. Alright, so we needed to hear about the mortification of the flesh. I'm going to need to find someplace that I can put my food. I suppose maybe back there, but that's a bit of a hike. Let's do it, though. The one who made it didn't want it. Right, this is Coffin. Okay. All of our food. Alright, we'll leave all of our food here. And then let's go make our way back to the temple. Well, it's nighttime, so... James' stomach rumbled. Checking his bag for a packet of rations, he was dismayed as he learned he wasn't the only one that had run low on supplies. We need to get food as soon as possible. We can't get anywhere if we're too weak to walk. Alright, starving, starving, starving. Get closer. Alright, let's enter and talk. James stumbled, cursing oaths that seemed far from appropriate within the hallowed temple walls. He followed the priest robed in light gray. Behind him, Owen and Gorath seemed similarly pained, but all made it well enough to the lector's study. Pushing their way into the oak-paneled room, they took their seats and waited. In a few moments, the lector arrived, arrayed in his dark robes of office. Looking at all their faces, he nodded with a certain grim satisfaction. "You have chosen mortification of the flesh," he said, "an admirable act of piety. It is enough." James nodded. "Good, then tell me about the Guild of Assassins." "In a moment." Stepping back to the door, he whispered to the priest who waited outside. Footsteps hurried off into the distance. "Haystan will bring rations for you. You will be of little use against Navon and his band without your strength." James sat forward in his chair. "Navon who?" "Navon du Sandow," the lector said, emphasizing each syllable. "He lives here in Kentine Rush, poses as a traveling merchant. That gives him the excuse he needs to cover the strange visitors he has from time to time. He leads the Nighthawks, but the time has come for the end of the Guild of Assassins." "Agreed," James said, wobbling to his feet. "We appreciate your help." "Wait," the lector leveled a stare at them. "As Kahuli has come to your aid as protectors of the faith, you must now aid us. It is your responsibility now to slay him. His is excommunicate of the Temple of Kahuli. His life is forfeit." "You didn't mention this in the bargain before," James said. "Shall we be expecting other demands of you later?" The priest shook his head. "Only this. You may do as you please thereafter. Though I would warn you always to tread carefully from this day forth when dealing with Kahuli. You are now, in our eyes, the arm of the tireless pursuer." "Okay, well..." Holy cow! They, may have gone a little bit overboard on giving me food. I mean, I'm not going to complain about that much free food, but... Let me go back and get the rest of my stuff. No, I didn't... Interesting. Just trying to get by you guys. I don't know what I hit that got me that left-clicking thing. I guess we have lots and lots of food now. I wonder if we immediately ate because we were starving. We should take a look. Yep, we're no longer starving. Alright. Oh, so much food in my inventory now. Suppose I could have left it alone, but at least we're not going to have to buy any for a while. Alright, so, I don't think we want to just, like, instantly attack Navon. I think we want to go find the, you know, whatever that is in this cave. Need to remember where I put the... I think it was outside Cavil Keep. How late is it? Let's just rest. At least I'll be able to sell that spell around here, too. This is the wordlock chest. Let's just grab that for now. Trying to think if there's anything else that I want to do or pick up. It's got 8 uses. That's a magic book. I'm going to leave the rest of this, I think, though. I may even just sell some of those lockpicks just because I have so many, and I don't really need that many, to be honest. Okay, so first of all, let's come over here, find where that magic shop was. I really do not need another scroll of Steelfire. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to carry much, but do you have anything interesting that I should buy? Not really. Alright, now, for where the waterfall is, I believe it's to the south of this area. Just get over to the road. And let's go ahead and rest. Nothing. I think I left something there, but I don't remember what it was. It's gone now. Alright. Here we go. Let's go ahead and bookmark first. Let's head to the waterfall. Okay, let's go ahead and enter. Where's the enter? There it is. Water cascaded over them. Sloshing through the thundering curtain of water, they flung themselves down on a wet stone slab which lay behind the waterfall. Wet strands of hair dangling before their eyes, they looked around their new surroundings. A door was set into the face of the rock, and on either side an empty iron brazier was bolted to the door's frame. To the right side there was a small darkened niche. James stood to take a closer look at the mysterious hole, discovering there a chessboard. Looks like someone was getting ready to play a match, but they were missing a piece. Owen smiled. If it doesn't occur to you, you're as thick as a stump. James nodded, collecting the knight's piece they had acquired from the well in Kenting Rush, setting it in its missing place. He grinned with satisfaction as the door swung open. If that isn't an invitation, I've never seen one, James said. Shall we? Yes, we shall. James led the way. Soon they were deep into the cavern. The spider hadn't noticed them. It's anybody's guess whether he's out to kill us or is just taking a stroll somewhere, James said. Probably best if we try to avoid him. The spider hadn't noticed us yet. Attack! The creatures howled! Great. Howling spiders. It's not something that I want to deal with. Kaboom! That was interesting. Oh, that one's dead. Boop. 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 Oh, and Slayer of Spiders. Well, it looks like someone set up some guard spiders, but they were not very effective. Ha 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 ha. Alright, from here, I need to get my map open. Okay. Spider corpses. I don't think spiders ever have anything. Cold ashes. Okay. Zoom out a bit. All right. We got a door leading deeper into the cave here, but we're gonna have to find out what's behind there next time. See you then, everyone.